Track and field is a sport where you either win or fail to win in the eyes of the fans. That is true at every single level, including college. And that means there's a whole bunch of failures out there on the track. It's the reason why when Sha'Carri Richardson won her first and only NCAA title in the 100-meter dash, you probably can't even tell me who was in second place. For the record, it was Kayla White of North Carolina A&T. But Sha'Carri was also there, indoors in the 60-meter dash, in the final. The only reason nobody noticed is because she wasn't in the front of the race at the time. But ironically, she was still named a first-team All-American for both of those races. If you watch my channel, then you know that I rank track and field recruits across the entire nation in every event to help determine who was really the best. But we really don't rank athletes like that at the college level. What really matters is making the All-American list. And I'm aware that the NCAA does hand out All-American status to its athletes. They hand out first team to anybody who finishes in the top 8 at a national meet. They also do the second team with a similar logic. But to be honest, that doesn't really take into account everything else you've done throughout the entire regular season. And in any other sport, we wouldn't accept that because your performance all season long is how you earn that honor. So I created an indoor All-American list for the best track and field athletes, regardless of your events or even of your division. I've already released the men's list on my website, searecruiting.com, and it ranges from the first team all the way down to the third and even includes some honorable mentions. Simply put, if you really want to be first team on my list, you can't just be one of the best in one event. You're likely going to have to prove it beyond that, because college coaches want to win meets, and scoring points is how they do it. But even amongst the first team All-Americans, there are some athletes who are clearly the best of the best, and that is why I created the SCA Top 10. So here is a breakdown of the best 10 track and field athletes across all of college on the women's side, and the schools they compete for. I know there are a bunch of talented athletes across all the divisions, but with everything we have to go off of, these ladies are clearly the best heading into the outdoor season. And if you click the link in the description, you can view the full list for all the SCA Women's All-Americans on searecruiting.com, because you or someone you know just might be on it. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Starting off at number 10 is Jasmine Jones of USC. She's the best hurdler in the nation and won the NCAA's indoors to prove it. You could argue that she is the leader of one of the best sprints, hurdles, and jumps teams ever assembled, which is funny because they also have the top recruiting class for 2024. Number 9 is Rachel Glenn of the national champion Arkansas Razorbacks. She won the high jump at the NCAA's and tied the collegiate record when she did it. But she's also one of the best hurdlers and sprinters in the entire nation. The fact that they didn't even use her in either of those events at the NCAA's is why you shouldn't be surprised that she's not the only Razorback on this list. But the number 8 spot goes to the SCA Pole Vaulter of the Year, Hannah Mall of Washington. She didn't only win the championship meet, she was the best vaulter all season long. And that was also to be expected, because her high school PRs from 2023 would have won the NCAA meet back then as well. Yet the first sprinter on this list is Jaden Mays of Oregon. She gets the number 7 spot. She finished third in the 60 and the 200, with time that could have won both during most years. But 2024 was clearly not most years, and the women ahead of her on this list are proof of that. The number 6 spot goes to a woman who never really had a fair shot at winning a national title if you know who she was going up against. Olivia Markovich of Notre Dame is clearly one of the best distance runners in the 3K and the mile. The only reason she didn't win either is because the women who did are even higher than her on this list, which is why Maya Ramsden of Harvard is number 5. She won the NCAA's in the mile, but avoided the smoke entirely in the 3K because you already know who was entered in that event. But if you consider that she won the 1500 outdoors last season, she now has a chance to go back to back to back before the end of 2024, which leads me to number 4, Amber Anning of Arkansas, who was the best 400-meter runner wire to wire this entire season, but also runs the 200. She now has the national title to back it up, and you may have wondered how the Razorbacks planned on replacing Britton Wilson, but Amber Anning is just about as good as any replacement is ever gonna get. Yet the final 3 spots go to women, who also join her as members of the SEC Conference. And I am also aware that there may be some controversy over these last 3 spots. But to be clear, I just tried to let the facts lead me to who gets to be number 1. That is why Jamethia Ford of South Carolina gets the number 3 spot. She is a freshman sprinting sensation who's been threatening to break collegiate records ever since she first hit the track. And as far as the 200 is concerned, she doesn't appear to have much competition at the college level. The only way she'll likely see any of it is when she tries to steal a spot on Team USA against the pros for Paris this summer. So the number 2 spot had to go to Jelani Davis of Ole Miss. She's the best combo thrower in the nation and won the NCAAs in the weight throw to prove it. You could easily argue that Ole Miss has the best throws program in the entire NCAA, but Jelani Davis is the leader of that team. But after all that, Parker Valby of Florida is the best collegiate track and field athlete this season. And of course that makes her the best distance runner. She doesn't just win anymore. She actually threatens to break records whenever she races at this point. And it really doesn't even resemble a race that much anymore. She's for the most part just running by herself. Now that she's completed the NCAA 5K and 3K double indoors, the only thing left to do is to double again when she gets outdoors. If she can, and break records when she does it, there might not be anything else for her to accomplish at the college level. But I'm also pretty sure that the pros really aren't looking forward to racing her that much either. Becoming an All-American in track and field is a very big deal, and it proves that you just might have what it takes to compete with the best in the world. You can even compete internationally before you graduate if you're good enough. And ironically, the NCAA championship meet is even more competitive than the World Championship meet, at least indoors from top to bottom. So don't be fooled by the label All-American, because anybody who makes my list is legitimately world class. But these 10 women have proven through the entire 2024 indoor season that they are really the best of the best. SCA track and field gear is here. Fast is a lifestyle, and what you wear should reflect that. Order yours at scarecruiting.com/shop. or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it's always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.